I think creative means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. It's a very subjective term, but to me the idea of just thinking how to solve a problem that's a little bit outside of the obvious choices, and that can be through art, music, writing, in anything to me that involves finding a way to express something that could be universal but still hasn't been expressed exactly in that way. And that's what I really strive for in my work. Well, the mural I'm doing here in Johannesburg is a portrait of Nelson Mandela, who is a hero of mine. There are a few people, the Dalai Lama, Martin Luther King, Mandela, who really have endured a lot and yet still maintained the attitude that you never stoop to the level of your oppressors. You always rise above, and that's incredibly powerful. My friend Jesse, who lived here for many years, lived in Cape Town. When apartheid was ending, he was a witness and part of what was called the Purple Revolution, and he explained about that history and said the 20th anniversary is coming up. I have outtakes from Mandela's Nobel Peace Prize photo session. If you could illustrate him in purple with a nod to the Purple Revolution, I think it would mean a lot to a lot of people in South Africa. Collaboration with Hennessy is great because I'm proud of being associated with a brand that has so much history and such craftsmanship to what they do, but also that they've supported me to do these murals that are not a Hennessy advertisement. They're my art. They're in no way co-opted by Hennessy. They see this as a symbiotic relationship, and so do I, and that's very unusual for a brand. So I'm getting to travel, DJ at the Hennessy parties, and paint murals. It's pretty ideal. I'm very cautious about which brands I'll work with. Earlier in my career, I needed to just survive, so I couldn't be as picky. I'm in the luxurious position of being able to be very choosy about who I work with. But Hennessy, I think, is really high quality. They also respected my wish to have a charity component to the project. So, really, I think that there's mutual respect, and every important facet of my practice has been dealt with in a really powerful, great way with this collaboration. And Hennessy also has a tremendous base of passionate fans that may or may not already be familiar with my work. So I'm always looking at opportunities to cross-pollinate, and I'm sure Hennessy is looking at the fan bases of the artists. But it's that cross-pollination that I think is really a great thing. A lot of people decide that they're going to stay in their lane or their niche within culture, and I think that having a wider appeal, being more democratic, being accessible is really important to me. It's really fundamental to me. So this is a project that can help put my work in front of people that it might not normally be in front of. Everything that I do came from skateboarding, and at first punk rock, and then later hip hop, because hip hop became the new punk rock. Public Enemy, NWA, Eric B. and Rakim, those guys were punk rock.
What about Diggable Planets?
Oh, I love Diggable Planets. Yeah, they're fantastic. Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, so many creative people. Because punk rock and skateboarding were always about creativity, resourcefulness, rebellion, and then hip hop came along, and it was the same way. To make hip hop music, you didn't have to be a virtuoso musician. You just had to have good taste and be able to creatively sample and put stuff together. So anything that levels the playing field, that allows people who have good ideas but not necessarily formal training to get ahead, that's the kind of culture I love. So, skateboarding, punk rock, graffiti, hip hop, those are the essentials for me. And my favorite quote is from Joe Strummer, "The future's unwritten." Things can go badly, but you can always change course in the future. And that's something that as I get depressed about things happening in the world, I always have to remind myself the future's unwritten. I'm Shepard Fairey. I'm talking to One Small Seed. And in terms of one small seed, it might not sound like much, but That's where everything can grow from. Nothing's ever been changed by anything other than a few determined individuals with good ideas, making them grow into a mass movement. So, props to one small seed.